Hello, I'm Chef Amilda Fonseca. I'm chef instructor at the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone campus. And today I'm going to present to you a pound cake. Going to be a freshly infused canola oil infused with a beautiful vanilla bean and lemon zest. And they're going to be one of the elements for the cake itself. And later on, we're going to make a emulsified sauce utilizing also canola oil. And again, I'm trying to play on the versatility of the oil being a neutral flavor oil that I can utilize several flavor profiles, including on a sweet preparation. So it's going to be really exciting and very interesting and very simple for you to do. So right here, I have my dry ingredients. What it is, I have my flour, my cake flour, my all-purpose flour, my sugar, and my baking powder. And what I did, I mixed all together, okay? And I sift, and the reason I sift is just to make nice and light. You just kind of break out the components of the flour, so the flour is no longer lumpy. We'll bake much lighter. We have a much lighter texture on the end process, okay? My wet products over here is butter, which I'm going to melt it. And my canola oil that's going to be freshly infused with a beautiful vanilla bean. So I'm going to have my canola oil over here. I'm going to split my vanilla bean. And I'm going to scrape the vanilla bean so the bean itself disattach from the pod. This is a great oil. It's very flavorful and going to have some great texture of all the beans in there, okay? And can be utilized for several applications. In this case, I'm using for my cake, but there is several other applications that can be done on a risotto element, for example, that can be done savory and works really, really well. And the key ingredient on this is that you do not bring this oil to a boil. You need to be just about 140 degrees, and then you'll be able to extract all the natural flavors from the bean and from the lemon zest without burning it, okay? While that is infusing, I'm going to begin my wet ingredients. 2 whole eggs, and 1 egg white. Here I have my eggs. Here I have my milk. I'm going to break this up. I don't want to whisk it or anything. I just want to make the mixture nice and cohesive. I have my vanilla bean, which is infusing, and it looks really, really, really great. And what happened over here, rather than use it straight out, all completely butter, and the oil, what it does is add a nice little sheen, just an interesting texture. When you cut the cake, you cut nice and clean, and you're going to see that makes a lot of sense. And the vanilla bean is just a tremendous flavor. It breaks through over here, so we have all sorts of micro little spectrums of the vanilla into that oil. It makes really, really pretty, okay? So here I have my butter. And right here, I have my freshly infused vanilla bean canola oil with lemon zest. That's great. So I'm going to hold this over here to the side, and I'm going to mix well, make the mixture really cohesive. But then going to be the same simple process that you always use with your regular baking cake. And I'm going to use a baking pan that is simply lined with parchment paper. Just cut the parchment paper and line the can over here. I'm going to put just a pinch of salt. Again, salt in baking applications is very important because what salt does, it brings out the sweetness of some of the other elements as well. So a little pinch of salt is always welcome when you do some baking. Okay? So here is... So what I have over here, I have my dry ingredients, which was my flours, okay, my baking powder, my sugars that has been sifted. I have my wet ingredients, that is my milk, my melted butter, my freshly infused canola oil with the vanilla bean and lemon zest, and just a little gentle pinch of salt, okay? So here is your vanilla and lemon pound cake. So here, I'm going to withdraw my pan, and I'm going to fill about 70% of the height with my batter. And you can see, when you can see from where you are, and I hope you can visualize this, all the specters of beautiful vanilla bean that is just kind of coming down with this batter over here. It's just a really beautiful batter. So it's going to go here. So now I have my batter in my pan. So I'm ready to go into the oven. So 350 degrees preheated oven, and I'm going to cook for about 35 to 40 minutes, all right? Now it's going, I'm going to make our sauce. And our sauce is a great sauce. It's a lot of flavor, and it's an interesting way to utilize fruit and utilize canola oil also in an application that's going to be sweet. And what we're doing over here is emulsified sauce. I have beautiful raspberries over here. You tend to get raspberries for sauce making very ripe, so it just kind of blends really well and blends really liquid rather than kind of very textural. So if you get the raspberry that is not absolute ripe, so you won't get the same results. You're going to add some sugar, Marnier, and then also going to have some orange juice on this sauce. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to squeeze my orange juice on the side. Okay, so now I have my raspberry, my Grand Marnier, my sugar, and lemon zest. And if you have mild lemon where you are, mild lemon would work just fine for this. And orange juice. Okay, now gonna blend this nice and slow. And very slowly I'm gonna add my canola oil. So this is gonna become emulsification, okay? Very gently. And what it does is actually thicken the sauce a little bit. And I'm going to get a plate over here so I can show you. Let me just taste real quick. That's delicious. I just want you to show you, what the potential of the sauce is. You see that there is a great sheen, you have a great color, the texture is really pretty. Very simple to make, okay? So let me check on my cake. So right here I have a cake. You saw that it expanded a little bit, came up, and then kind of once, you rest a little, gonna withdraw. So I'm gonna let it rest a little bit. It's very important that you don't cut the cake right away when it's hot. Let it just gently rest a little bit. And then what you're gonna do, you're just going to separate the cake from the pan as such. So I have a plate over here, I'm going to invert this cake. And I'm going to utilize this towel over here. It's a beautiful cake. As you notice, it comes out really easily. Your paper is right there. And I'm pretty much ready to serve. So it's an interesting thing that I want you to notice on this cake. Once you replace a part of the butter and utilize the freshly infused canola oil with the vanilla beans and the lemon zest, you're not only adding a lot of flavor for the cake, but you're reducing the saturated fat on that recipe. So it works for you in both ways. So it's a great recipe for you to try at home, and with a gorgeous raspberry and Grand Marnier sauce. Enjoy.